Hello guys, welcome to my channel once again. Here we make videos that cover all you need to know about medical doctors and medical students. The videos I make is not exclusively reserved for medical doctors or medical students. Even people that happen not to be health workers can really relate to these videos. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss my new videos, which I drop twice weekly. And to my returning subscribers, you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming back once again to watch my videos. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 8 very peculiar things that happen in the hospital. And these events are things that health workers will relate with to a very large extent. But even if you're not a health worker, you'll find this very interesting. And if you had happened to be in the hospital or had been admitted in the hospital, or you had even taken care of someone in the hospital, I'm sure you relate to one or two of these things that I'm going to list in this video. So don't forget to like and share this video. It goes a long way for me. So let's dive into today's video. The first event is, okay, we run shifts or we run calls. It depends on where you're working. But there's something that happens, especially when a call or when a shift is calm. Nobody mentions the word calm, because immediately you say so, it's like all hell breaks loose and it's a problem. You might just see patients tripping in, you might get some kind of very, very serious emergencies, or some stable patients just suddenly become unstable. It's just that everything crashes for you. We even tell each other not to wish ourselves calm shifts or quiet shifts. We just go through the event. If it's quiet, we acknowledge it in our hearts and we acknowledge it quickly, because we know that once you just open your mouth to recognize that it's calm, everything just changes. It's weird, but ask any health worker, they will attest to that. The second is also related to our shifts or our calls, is that there happens to be some health workers that once they are on duty, man, everything becomes busy. It's like they draw patients. If you're working with them, you just happen to have a very unusually busy duty or busy call. And it's not restricted to only medical doctors. There's some nurses too that have that spirit. Then we used to tease some of them and say that they should just go into private practice. They will be able to use their ability to draw a lot of patients to their private institutions. This makes us very careful to know whom we're on call with or who we're running shifts with, because they help us to know whether the call will be busy or not. The next event, which is weird, is, do you know one of the most valuable instruments in the hospital? Don't allow your mind to go too far. It's actually this, a pen. So, a pen is something you can't just be careless with in the hospital. You don't drop it anyhow. This thing easily gets missing. And doctors are usually the culprits. They steal pen. And many times, the nurses always come to our aid in terms of pen, and somehow in their generosity they lose a lot of pen. So they are now trying to be more careful, except you have to even be interrogated first before you're given a pen, and you must use the pen in their presence and give them back, because pens just get missing. I happen to have been guilty of many of these crimes. So the case of missing pen is something that I don't think will ever go away in the hospital. Then another one that really baffles me, I don't know, but it baffles me, and I think it will baffle some of you too, is that there are actually patients that don't want to be discharged. And majority of patients will want you to discharge them. They'll be like, doctor, when am I leaving? When am I leaving? Even if they were being brought in unconscious and they just regain consciousness, many of them just start asking you, when am I getting discharged? But then there are a few patients that really don't want to get discharged. It's weird, but it's actually true. And it happens that many of them really enjoy the attention they get in the hospital, especially people that had been lonely. Quite elderly people happen to be a majority of these sets of people, and it's at this point in time that their relatives and friends come to visit them, and they tend to get all the attention that they had desired, and they know that if they're being discharged, that's all, they lose them. Then a few are victims of some domestic maltreatment and would want to stay in the hospital because the hospital is safe. But then yes, there are people that really don't want to be discharged. If you want to discharge them, they just fake another illness or bring another complaint, but we cannot keep you for an unnecessarily longer time in the hospital. Staying in the hospital for too long has its own dangers. So yes, it happens. There are people that don't want to leave the hospital. Closely related to the last event I talked about is there are some patients that are quite criminal. They steal stuff. So they are known to steal stuff within the ward. Some of them might not be patients, they might be patients' relatives, and they just happen to steal stuff. Do you know that some patients actually escape from the hospital without paying anything? They just park quietly. We call it in Nigeria small. They just do small parking, and one day you happen not to see them. They'll just go out as if they want to stroll, and they've disappeared. Ask the nurses, they can tell you this. And for this disappearing they do, somebody must pay. It's sad, but then there are patients like that. So this has made the hospitals most times to be very proactive, that before you're being admitted, you have to pay a particular amount of money, so that in case such events happen, at least the hospital is compensated to a certain extent. And this should explain why many times hospitals tell you to drop admission fee before you get admitted. This is one of the reasons why they insist you do that. Then another one, also closely related to patients, is there are patients' relatives we notice they just come to eat. They come at particular points in time just to come and eat the patient's food. They don't do anything. They come during visiting times, visiting hours, and maybe if some other well-wishers had brought food or something, their own is just to sit down and eat. Yes, this is not something that is really popular in developed countries. I don't think it happens. I've not seen it, but I had seen it in Nigeria. I had seen it. They'll just sit down, cross their legs, and eat food. Then after that, they just disappear to come back the next day. We don't know what's happening, but poverty is real, and some people are really starving. I don't know, maybe that's their chance of eating, and such people won't pray for the patient to get better anytime soon. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Then the last one is something that really baffles us. It confuses me. Is patients now taking extra medications. When you come to the hospital and you happen to be admitted, your medications are closely monitored. There are drugs that are being prescribed to you, and if you have other ones, you have to let the doctor know so that they will know what to do in regards to those drugs, because many times the drugs that might be prescribed to you serve the same function as the ones you're already taking, or they might have some kind of drug interaction that will be fatal or make the important drugs to be inactive. So you have to make it a point of duty that you tell your doctor while on admission that these are the drugs I'm on. But then that one is even different. There are some that will take drugs that somebody else brings to them or some other people bring to them to the hospital. And in addition to the drugs that they are being prescribed while on admission, it really baffles me. There are a couple of patients that I've met like that, and wow, how people take risks. Ignorance, Bisha. Many of them is ignorance. I know that if they were aware of the implications, they wouldn't do that. But what would we do? So that's all for today's video. What do you think? Some of them are pretty funny, but these are the realities of the hospital. What did you like? What didn't you like? What do you need more clarification? Let me know in the comment section. As I said earlier, please give this video a thumbs up. It goes a long way, and you can share it also. You can ask some of the health workers these questions, and they'll be able to relate to this. So if you've not subscribed, again, please subscribe and turn on the bell notification. So thank you, and I'll see you in my next video.